Hello, hello, my friends. I'm here today to talk about Death Valley Nails' absolutely beautiful Valentine's collection. It's actually a 10-piece collection, and they're all available now on the Death Valley Nails site. I'll link everything in my in the description, but everything's available now. They released last Friday, and I love Death Valley Nails so much. I feel like they do such fun polishes and just some really beautiful, unique stuff. I'm a big fan. And I was lucky enough to be able to get to swatch this collection, to create this video for you and do some videos, which you'll see up on their site as well. I'm just going to talk at the top of this video. I'm not going to do an outro. So once you see the last swatch, I'll kind of give you a warning and that's it. But this collection is available right now on the Death Valley Nails site, and it's a really great one. It's a good, got a nice combo of like finishes. I don't, one of my shimmers, I'm missing one right now. It's not in my house. So unfortunately, the great content creator that I am, I don't have it. I have 9 of the 10. But it's a really good mix of like fun, funky finishes. Like this is like, these are like hex glitters, technically, like a little confetti style pink and white. We've got some holo, which is really fun. Also, if you're not familiar with Death Valley Nails, they have these beautiful bronze caps that remove, like they just come off. So these are decorative. I would take them off before. You don't ever want to grab them from the top, because you saw that one came off pretty easily. They won't all come off that easily, but they're gorgeous. They're bronze, and you can also ask for your order to not include them, but I love them. I feel like they just add something to my shelf, but they do come off. Some easier than others. Don't grab your bottles from the top. But this gorgeous 10-piece collection is full of, we got some really nice shimmers as well. So we've got some funky finishes, like this little confetti one. Then we've got 2 shimmers. The other one is this really beautiful blue that I really love. That's the one that is not here at the moment. And then we've got like some large particle shimmer. This is like one of my favorites, as well as we've got this gorgeous topper, which I love. It's like packed full of hearts and stuff. So I'm swatching this one a couple different ways. And then you just have like, you know, some fun. This has like hollow flakes in it. This is more of like a linear hollow. So these are 2 really cool ones. And then Death Valley also did 2 new-ish to them formulas. They have thermals and they have like the UV reactive polishes. These are both. So you'll see when I when I swatch them, they will react on my nails, so you can see the thermal shift. These are the cold state for both of these right now. And then they also will change in the sun as well. So I'm gonna get right into swatching, and I will have more chit chat about the actual collection itself. This is such a nice deep dark purple and all of the excellent names, but I'm gonna get right into it. I hope you're all having an excellent day. If you have any questions up front at the top, feel free to add a comment or DM me or find me on Instagram at Polished Bookworm. I'm gonna link everything for you in the comments, and let's get to it. We are going to kick this collection off with one of my favorites from the whole collection, Mod Podging Our Problems. And I am such a big fan. I like a big shimmer. And so this is gonna look like, it's gonna be pretty bright, and I really like this one in lower lighting. You'll see at the end that I have the natural light. You can see it on my nails. It's a little shiftier in like kind of that shade or that lower lighting, but it's described as the iridescent shimmer. It is a bit sheer, as you can see. I definitely built this up in 3 coats. If you have shorter nails, you would probably be happy in 2. You can see the coverage isn't bad at all. I think just because of the base and whatnot, it's just a little bit of a sheer polish. But it's described as a chrome pink aurora. So it's chrome pink aurora microflakes, and it has like just a ton of shimmer in it that shifts from orange to gold to green.
and I really, really like this one. Um, right. Well, what can I say? I'm not always into pink polishes. I find that sometimes they clash with my skin tone in a very funky way. This is a good one. It's a really nice, flattering one, and I really enjoyed how shifty it was. Um, because it was delightfully shifty. And so you can see with that third coat, it does build back up a bit more. And you can see as I like angle my finger, it goes to gold. And you can see this is just like balcony lighting, not direct lighting. I'm going to adjust my hand here in a second so you'll see. You can see how strong that gold shimmer is. Hi, Arwen. She's saying hi. We're talking Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know. Yes, you're my Valentine forever, Freddie. So, Arwen's nickname is Freddie, and it's a very long story that maybe I'll tell one day. But next up, we have Cooties, which is just such a good name, honestly. And this is a glitter crelly, and just a ton of glitter in this, like big old glitter. You need glitter grabber with this polish. Um, but it is described, Cooties is described as a chantilly lace white base, so it's not like a stark white. It's like a nice, you know, soft white base, and it has four different kinds of pink glitter in there. And she cute, like real cute. It's a really cute, it's a really cute polish, and the name is amazing. My bottle might have needed like a pinch of thinner, I'm thinking as well. Also between me opening to paint my nails and opening to swatch, fun fact, I do tend to do those on different days, filming versus photography. But you definitely also will want to glitter grabber with this, as with all four different kinds. It's a pretty textured polish, but I'm a fan. I mean, look at how freaking cute this is. It's perfect. And I feel like it's a really flattering. I like that it wasn't stark white, but this is just two coats over my natural nails of Cooties. And then we have another fave. A dream is real, stubbing my toe, or stubbing your toe, I guess. And this is like this really neat iridescent shimmery color. And it is described as a berry jelly base, which, yes, and it has iridescent emerald to indigo to violet aurora shimmer, which I'm a big fan of this combo. Um, because it doesn't have that like warm green shimmer. It has that like emerald indigo violet, like that kind of family in a shimmer I really, really like. Um, so it has that aurora shimmer plus micro hollow flakes as well as scattered hollow, which I really liked. This polish um was not textured at all, even with like kind of all the flakes and stuff in there, which was nice. And I thought I was really happy with coverage in two coats. It is a jelly base. You probably would get like a little bit of visible nail line, but nothing too crazy, at least nothing that bothered me to do three coats on it. But um, yeah, she's lovely. I really like this one. And you can see here my lighting is actually going to change because I did direct sunlight and then my sun disappeared. Um, you'll see here actually in this one that, oop, there goes my sun. So we get like a little bit of hollow action before. And then this, I mean, obviously it's still like bright daylight, so you can see it, but this is what it kind of looks like when you're more in direct lighting. This is also one of my favorites from the collection, as well as Garlic Breath, which is a hilarious name for a polish, and it's a beautiful polish. I'm a big fan. I think the name is so funny, and I am obsessed with the holographic. I love hollow polish in general. I also love red nail polish in general. So this is the best of both worlds, having a great name, being red and being hollow. Um, it just doesn't like a regular holographic. It's definitely along the linear vibe, so you can see it's like a very subtle hollow, and but it does sparkle in the indirect light as well. But it is described as a holographic ruby red. And once again, this is garlic breath, so I don't know if that has anything to do with like vampires or what, but I Love it. I wore this one multiple times. A big fan. And I I really here's why I also really love this collection. It has something for everyone. There's a whole bunch of different finishes in there as well. So it's not just flakies, it's not just shimmer, it's not just, one thing or another. So I really like the the different variety in this collection. And then for the hollow, I also have pictures of that on my Instagram that are not in the sun, getting those glamour shots so you can see a little bit better. But this is I'd let him eat crackers in my bed, which is hysterical, and I love for the name, and I love the polish in general. It is described as having a lilac blue base with magenta shimmer and subtle rose gold glitter and a hint of scattered hollow. So you can see it really when like kind of when I'm applying. You can kind of see all of the hints of that like in those coats in those first coats. Um and I love it. I mean, this is so cute. It's just a really cute polish. I also very much love the name. It's just kind of silly. And yeah, I love meat crackers that is adorable. This one is sheer. I don't know if it would ever go fully opaque just because of that, just because of the way that it's made. But I do think that if you wear more of a blurring base, you're gonna love it. It's just super pretty. And I mean, what's not to love? You see, like I'm a big fan of this combo. I love a lilac blue. And then you can see in it the lilac really comes through in this lighting, and this is like my indirect balcony lighting as you are wont to do. My lighting sometimes gets a little funky, but here you go, three coats over my natural nails, no base, or like a clear base. And you can see I definitely have some visible nail line. I would just pop this over like a sheer pink base just to blur some visible nail line in general, but it's a very cute one. Now here is one of my absolute favorites from this collection. This is Stay a While, and it's described as a sheer multichrome, and it's described as having like a sheer ghostly pink base with a fuchsia, sherbet, and gold iridescent aurora shimmer. This is one of my favorites of the collection. I have my clear base on, as you can see. Um, so I would also probably wear this a little more regularly, like just kind of over a base that neutralizes my nail bed a bit, maybe blurs it a tiny bit, but I like letting the glowiness of this come through. So this is like a super glowy polish. I am such a huge fan. This is definitely, like, hands down, one of my favorites from the collection. It's very sheer, as you can see. It's described as sheer. It describes the sheer multichrome. It's described as having a sheer ghostly pink base, which is very accurate. It's a very light, it's almost like orangey, at least on my skin tone, which I'm super into. And I did do three coats of this just so you can see the shimmer really builds, like the glow really builds the more coats that you do. But it's not incredibly opaque, as you can tell. But and maybe just put on like a pink blurring base if that's really, something that's gonna bother you. Also, it's gonna look different over shorter nails, but I'm a huge fan of this polish. I love the name too, Stay a While. It's really sweet, especially when you're trying to wear one for Valentine's Day, things like that. I love it. So you can see like that sherbet color and that gold iridescent aurora pop through. Um, over my nails, but I like it. I actually do like how kind of ghostly it is. It's kind of like a my nails, but better glowy version. And then there's two rumps carved on the stump. And let me tell you how hard this polish is to capture. It's hard to capture in pictures. It is hard to capture in video. So just we're gonna bear with me. And w- this is described as a crelly, and it is definitely crelly. It has a beautiful formula, and it's beautiful My camera just really has a hard time sometimes with darker colors and like kind of distinguishing the base. So you see me put my hand back here. So two rumps on a carved stump is described as having a deep violet base with black flakes, and it shifts from bright to bright red at an angle, which you can see. This also needed a little bit of glitter grabber, just one like thin coat because it was a little bit textured. It might be the black flakies in there, but I love, and you could see on the first coat, the black flakies really pop through in a very cool way, especially if you have some visible nail line. This is a really neat color, and I just did kind of like daylight shots so you could see the black flakies because they are noticeable in your standard like non-direct sunlight lighting. But it's hard to get them to show on camera, or at least I have a hard time. So this is Verklempt, and that's Yiddish. If you didn't know, Verklempt is like you can feel Verklempt. It's a whole thing, and then also there's a whole Saturday Night Live sketch from back in the day with it. It's a word that I like to use a lot, so I was very excited to see the name of this. But this is a topper. It is a glitter topper. I'm going to put it on actually two different ways. So, as with many toppers, you don't have to really go fishing for stuff. This is one coat. Um, but you might want to choose your own placement, let's say, depending on the vibe that you're wanting. And also, I have a lot of nail to cover, so it's hard for me. But I'm going to also show you what some people do to just get more coverage. See how much came out just on that one pull from the bottle. It's not hard to get glitter out, so you don't have to, like the hearts don't all sink to the bottom and you can't get them. They're there, they're easy to get on there. But if you want more of a packed application without doing 15,000 coats of polish, you can just sponge them on to a makeup sponge. This is just like a regular, like from the drugstore sponge. And you can see this is just over one coat. You can sponge them on and you can just get more coverage that way. So that's just an easier way to get more coverage if you don't want to do a whole bunch of different coats depending on the vibe you're going for. But for clumped, I'm also going to do another coat of just swiping it over my nails. Verklempt is has matte cotton candy hearts and magenta diamonds, and it has like this sheer. This is what I really love about this. It's not just a clear topper that these are in. The base itself has sheer micro pink and gold flakies in it. So they're not, you can kind of see them on my nail here. They're not like super picking up that sheer base, but you can also see how easy it was for me to get parts out of this thing. So the it's full of stuff and the formula itself is really nice. But yeah, if you want a little control over what you're doing, you could just do it on a sponge as well. So you can see here, this is just two coats over like I think I had a sheer pink base on just because I was wearing it that day. But it's a very cute topper. I think it'd look really cute over some of the other colors as well. And I love those little matte hearts. I'm a big fan. And now we're on to the last two of the collection, and these are the ones that were kind of hard to film. Um, but we do what we can. They're hard to film because not only are they thermals, but they're UV sensitive and it's super sunny here, so you'll see what I mean. So this first one is waving goodbye. So it's a thermal nail polish, which means, as you can see, it goes on blue. And then you can see it kind of changing to this really light blue because my hands are warm while I'm shooting, while I'm filming application. My hands are pretty warm. I'm warm, I'm inside. Um, so this polish is described as having microchrome pink, orange, and gold shifting flakes and subtle micro silver hollow. So when it's cold and you apply it cold, it's cornflower blue. And when it's warm, like when it warms up, so if it's your skin, your skin temp, you can see the tips of my nails are that cornflower blue. It's a light, almost white blue. And then when your hands are cold, bear with me, when your hands are cold and you go into the sun, your nails are going dark violet. And so you can kind of see my nails are already changing here. And then if your hands are warm, you're going to like a magenta color. So you can see how fast this changes in the sun. My hands were pretty cold. You can kind of see some of the white there. It's hard to get, there's ways to do it. I kind of don't futz with all the different ways, and this is inside, so this is just kind of a no UV, how it looks as a thermal kind of. My hands are my hands are kind of cold. So, and now we have our final polish of this whole collection. This is blushing, and like just a reminder, I am going to wrap up after this polish. Blushing is also photothermal, so when it is in its cold state, meaning there's no body temp, or it's just cold, like at the tips of your fingers, it is a dusty pink. And when it warms up on your body, it turns into a cream yellow. And then when it's cold and in the sun, it's supposed to be like kind of a grayish purple, like you need UV light for this. And then when it's warm and in the sun, it's going to be more of a blurple color. I have Raynaud, so my hands do not heat evenly. Sometimes they overheat, and also sometimes they're very, very cold. So I do tend to have trouble with thermals. So just my sun shots of these are a little funky, but so you'll see they're not fully going. But I did want to show this off as it is so gorgeous. I know that Melly K Nails on Instagram has a much better depiction of her nails reacting the way that they should to the UV and the thermal and everything. So thank you so much for sticking with me. It has been an absolute pleasure and delight getting to swatch this Death Valley Nails Valentine's collection. They are available now on the site, and I'll talk to you later.